Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, law of attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. In this video, we're going to talk about why do things get worse before a manifestation is coming in. And a manifestation could look like physical things. It could look like a new mindset, new patterns, new habits, new people, vacations, money, jobs. There's so many different things that we are co-creating every single day with the universe. And before they arrive, we normally have some sort of thing that happens. Life gets worse. We feel triggered. We feel like everything is breaking down, and it's usually one thing after another after another. So in this video, we're going to break down a couple things that might indicate why this is happening. And the first one is the mirror effect. So if you're being triggered, okay, if you are feeling rejected, maybe you've been dating somebody for a while and all of a sudden they just ghost you and you feel abandoned, you are being prepared and you're getting practice with this person, with this character in your movie. They came along your path to poke you and trigger you in your soft spots. And it's the universe saying, hey, you still have some stuff inside of you that needs to be cleared. You still have some trauma. You still have some pain. And we're going to bring along this person before your true love arrives to prepare you. Okay. So we're being shown, it's a mirror. When somebody is doing something to us, it's mirroring to us what's inside of us, and it's preparation. So it could be rejection, it could be abandonment, it could be so many different things. If somebody's judging you, if they're criticizing you, that might be something from childhood where you had parents that were like overly critical. I went through a phase where I had to be poked about my perfectionism. I had to like finally let go and say, Michelle, it's okay. You don't have to be perfect, because I was under the conditioning that I wouldn't be able to be in a partnership unless I was perfect for them. And I had to unlearn all of that. And that took a couple months of me healing and being poked by so many different situations where I wasn't perfect. I was drawing in the mirror effect, and I was attracting terrible situations to show me that I don't have to be perfect. And it was painful and it's hard. And that's why things get worse before something good comes in, because we have to purge that energy that's lying dormant in our nervous system. And the universe wants us to be free. On an ascension journey, which is a manifesting journey, our souls are trying to grow. We're trying to level up. We came into these earth suits to learn lessons. And the whole point of it is to grow and expand and to become more loving to ourselves, to other people, and to release the costumes that we've been wearing our entire lives that are filled with trauma and pain and judgment and comparison and rejection and all the things we don't want to feel, and shame and guilt. Oh my gosh, shame is a huge one. So if you struggle with shame, you are going to you're going to keep attracting shameful situations. You're going to keep doing things that make you feel shame about yourself until you finally see it and heal it and forgive yourself for being in that situation in the first place, because it's what your soul came here to learn, and it's not who you are. And things get worse because you have to attract the situation to you in order to see it within you. And then you can heal it. And then you can just ride right through that wave and just be like, I did it. I learned the lesson. I'm no longer going to repeat that pattern. So the first reason why things get worse, it's for your own healing and for your soul's growth. We attract a mirror to us to show us what's inside of us so that we can transmute it and be better. Okay, the second thing is the law of polarity. So everybody has to have a come up story, right? I know my come up story is I was sleeping on my brother's couch in his basement. I lived with him for a while. I lost my daughter. I lost my dad. I had all these terrible things, child abuse, sexual abuse as a kid. We all have these like icky stories that we don't want to relive, and we can't even believe we went through it. Some of you might have been homeless. Some of you might have had to leave an abusive relationship and start all over again as a single parent with no job, no car, maybe had to go live with family members. This is your story. That's the law of polarity. You are being shown the icky side of this experience so that you have the fire in you to create something better. And that's why you're here on my channel, to manifest, to create, to make your life better, to ascend, to grow your soul. And things have to get worse before they can get better. So if you don't quite have a story yet and you don't really have anything terrible that you've gone through, that's okay. Maybe your soul chose this kind of path to maybe light the way for others and show them that it is possible to have a very clean life, if you will. But we all have our little versions of neglect and abandonment and rejection. But some people have, a tougher story, which is okay. But there is such thing as a law of polarity. And I forget what author who said this, but it was like, it's better to be born poor because then you have that fire in you for the rest of your life to not ever want to be poor again. And you're going to do things to prevent that same situation from happening to your kids. So it's almost better to not be born into, this middle class or high class life, because now you have this fire to not suffer. And some people get complacent in the suffering and they think that woe is me. And they're like, oh, I'm always at the bottom of the totem pole. This is just my life. No, I'm here to tell you that that doesn't have to be your reality. And a lot of times, the first quarter or half of our lives are in suffering until we awaken and we start to see everything breaking down. We switch jobs, we get divorced, we lose, maybe we have miscarriages, we lose children like I did, and it wakes you up so that you can now create the second half of your life in a better way. And it takes work and it takes a lot of healing. So that's why that first one, attracting the situations, will show you where you're not free. It's going to show you where there's still mud and the muck inside of you that we need to clear out. So think of it as like a fire hose of light that's coming through the top of your head, and it's going to shoot out your root chakra down through your feet. And if there's any kind of mud or ickiness inside of your body, the mud represents trauma, rejection, abandonment, all those fears. It's going to flush it out. But in order to turn the fire hose on, you have to experience things. And that's what the breakdown is. It's these experiences that are turning the fire hose on. You're being cleansed, you're being purified, you're becoming brand new. So now when your vessel is somewhat clear, because we all are always going to have more healing to do, we're never fully clear. We're just doing it layer by layer. But now when we're fully pure and on the journey, we can now attract more things to us, and we ascend and we are moving into that 4D, that 5D energy. So when we do this work and things are breaking down and things are getting worse, break out the champagne, break out the drinks, start cheersing, because that means something better is coming. That means you're purifying yourself. So, and a lot of times the breakdown will move through you quicker when you relax into it and when you know that everything's going to be fine because you understand this process. When you understand it, you can finally be at ease and be like, yes, my life isn't really falling apart. I'm not going to beat myself up for this because it's part of the hero's journey. We have to have a struggle and then we have a triumph. And the triumph always follows the struggle. And the last one is a collective shift. So I'm sure most of you have heard of the Great Awakening, and it started in 2012. That was the first big jolt of energy to our planet to start to wake us up as humans. Our souls were being activated and being turned on. I don't know if any of you went through something tough in 2012. I lost my daughter in 2012. So that was my first electrical shock to just wake up and figure out who I am, why am I here, what's my purpose. And then as I moved on back again in 2017, 2018, there was another awakening. And that's when I quit my job and just started to transform my life. I didn't really know why I was doing it. And it's all of us. All of us are being, it's like we're taking paddles to the chest and we're being awakened to our mission, to ascend, to help our planet be better. There's so much darkness, there's so much hatred, there's so much greed in this planet right now. And the awakening is to transmute it. We're turning the dark into the light. And I don't know if you just saw on the camera, it just like kind of dimmed and got dark and light. So thank you to my angels and guides for confirming that. But the Great Awakening is a collective shift. Think about all these humans as little kind of figurines on a game, on a board game. And all of a sudden they're going through their day, they're going to their job, they're eating dinner, they're taking their kids to their sporting events. They're all kind of like robotic, right? And then all of a sudden somebody shines a light onto this game board. And it's like maybe a third of the little figurines wake up and they look up and they're like, what's that light? What are we doing here? Oh my gosh, we're on a game board. What are all these people still moving for? Why aren't they stopping and looking at the light? And that's you guys. You guys watching me right now, you're looking up at the light because you're awake. You've been embracing this awakening that's happening on our planet, and it's a collective shift. And sometimes, in order to shine that light on those figurines, it has to be breakdown. They have to go through a divorce. They have to go through a loss. They have to go through an illness. Sometimes it's a subtle shift. I know Michael Singer, he's the writer of The Untethered Soul and The Surrender Experiment. The Surrender Experiment is my favorite book ever. Go read it if you have not. But he talks about having a spontaneous awakening. He was sitting on his couch one day with his buddy, and he just said, like, do you hear that voice in your head? Like, what is that voice in your head? And he was just now awake. He was no longer sleepwalking through life. So if you can picture the board game that we are all on as humans, we're here to learn lessons in this game. And you're here on my channel right now because you're learning how to move on that game board. You're trying to move so efficiently. You're trying to make an impact and help everybody else look up at that light and look within to see that they're not just this little player in this game. They are something bigger. We are here to expand and to grow and to change. And this collective shift, right? Think about that game board with all those players on it. We are here and we're all looking up at this light and saying, I'm here. I'm on now. Now, what do? We got to break the routine. We have to stop going to that job. We have to stop taking our kids to those sporting events that maybe are not good for their soul because maybe they don't want to play, or maybe there's practice every single night of the week and they're not getting any rest. They don't know how to meditate. We're plucking them out of those situations and we're taking them out into nature. We're teaching them to meditate. We're teaching them to open up their gifts. So before manifestations can arrive, sometimes we have to wake up and have this collective shift within our family, within our community. And sometimes you're the one person who's looking up at that light, and then everybody's looking at you, and then you inspire them to look up. All of a sudden, you're poking a button in them and you're turning their soul on. And that's why I started my channel. I wanted to help people awaken. That's why my channel is literally called Awakening with Me, because I want people to live out their mission. I don't want anybody transitioning out of this world and their soul saying, damn it, we didn't do what we came there to do. We need everybody on their game, playing the game, learning how to co-create, learning how to maneuver on that board, learning how to feel good when they're maneuvering on that board. So getting back to the video topic, things get worse so that we can awaken, and then we can awaken others, and our planet can change. That is the main mission. And if you're in your living room, your office, your car, listening to this right now, you have a special job. You are surrounded by people that look up to you. They admire you. They're looking at what you're doing and they're following it. So if you learn the art of co-creation and you understand that if you have something breaking down in your life, or if you have somebody breaking up with you, think about that game board and think about somebody's walking away from you on that board and they're not looking up at the light. Are you really bothered by that? You want to be surrounded by people that are awake and looking up at the light. And if they're walking away from you and they're going to go repeat a pattern and they're going to keep going the same route on the same board every single day for the rest of their life, you want to move away from that. So it's a blessing. So that breakup is actually really good for you, because now you're going to go on a different part of that board and you're going to be surrounded by people that are like you. And you're going to create more change for yourself, for your soul, and for our planet. So embrace when things get worse. It means they're getting better. It means that, number one, you're attracting situations to help you heal, to help your soul grow. Number two, the law of polarity, you have to have a come up story. You got to be able to say, well, I went through this and look at me now. And then the last one is the collective shift, is understanding the bigger picture. And if that was a little too woo-woo for you, that's okay. You can turn this video off, or maybe they already did. But I believe, and from what I'm learning, that that's why we're here. I mean, do we really know? I don't know. But I like to wake up and think that way. And I like to believe that I'm helping people in some way. And you are too. You're the center of your community. And I'm here to help you expand and grow so that you can help your community expand and grow. And then it can just be this ripple effect. So I'm passing my torch off to you. Go take it, do your thing. If you need help Everything's in the description box below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for being here and for listening this long. You're amazing. Go light that torch.